Hey guys, it's the facelessbeanie and welcome to my summary of Devstream number 161. Let's get into it. First up, we saw a bunch of new weapons coming with the next update. These weapons will behave like the Proto-Via armor in the game, in that you equip the weapon and keep killing more enemies to unlock further forms. Each form unlocked allows you to upgrade the weapon permanently. You'll be offered 3 options to choose from each time. 3 weapons will ship with the update, all obtainable from the new vendor, and more weapons will ship after. Then we gotta look at Valkyr Deluxe with some great assets. Okay, let's move on to the new Warframe Gyre and her new abilities. Her first ability, Arc Sphere, launches a gyratory sphere that deals high damage on impact and periodically deals shocks to nearby enemies. 3 enemies hit on impact will enhance further damage dealt. Gyre's second ability, Coil Horizon, causes Gyre to throw forward a gyratory sphere that'll implode after a few seconds. You can also manually trigger the implosion. This is Gyre's Helmet ability. Her third, Cathode Grace, is a cooldown based ability. You gain a brief burst of increased crit chance and energy regen, and every kill extends the duration of the ability. If you allow the duration to run out, there's a cooldown before you can cast again. And finally, Rotoswell causes Gyre's mechanisms to spinny spin and generate an electric field which shocks nearby enemies. Once a critical hit is landed, a large electrical discharge will chain from the enemy hit to other nearby enemies. And of course, finally, Gyre's passive causes her abilities to have a 10% chance to deal crit damage for each electrical status effect on an enemy. Now let's take a look at Void Cascade, a new endless mission type. So you go around the map to destroy contaminated exolizers, all with the goal of obtaining control of the Void Cascade. Think of interception. Destroying these contaminated exolizers will release mini bosses which will go around trying to contaminate other exolizers. So you need to defeat the bosses, and to defeat them you'll need to enter operator mode to land the finishing hit. Upon defeating these enemies, you will be rewarded with a flat amount of focus in return. Next, we saw a revamp of the clan recruitment system. In which you can now advertise your clans, and recruitees can browse for available clans to join, a departure from a recruitment chat. Finally, as quick as I can, let's move into the summary of the focus changes coming with the focus rework. I'll focus on what they showed on the dev stream. I recommend you visit the dev workshop for more detailed information. A couple of things. A Void Dash is now Void Sling. Basically allows you to project where you want your operator to go, then slings you toward it instead of spamming dash. And the void pool is gone. You will also receive a focus refund for all schools upon the introduction of the focus rework. Alright, Zenurik. Void Flow, Void Siphon and Energy Pulse remain basically unchanged. Energizing Dash is now Wellspring, which creates a wall of energy around the operator for 8 seconds. Instead of Void Dashing like for Energizing Dash, you stay put and hit your first ability key now. So Hardened Wellspring, you activate it the same way as Wellspring, but you do it while you're in your Wellspring, and you'll increase the size, the duration and the ability strength buff provided by the Wellspring. Inner Might is a new cooldown passive, allows free ability casts basically once every 60 seconds. You'll see an orb floating around your Warframe which will signal that you can cast an ability for free. Disarming Sling has a chance to disarm enemies when you Void Sling through them. And then if you kill those disarmed enemies, No Quarter increases the energy regen rate for your operator by a fixed percentage for a limited time. Temporal Drag emits a radial burst, slowing any enemy touched by it for a limited time, and Temporal Shot provides a hit shot damage buff for enemies afflicted with Temporal Drag. Naramon. Power Spike, Affinity Spike and Mind Step are the same. Affinity Spike grants a higher affinity buff now. Opening Slam switches you to your Warframe and grants double combo gain for 20 seconds if you perform a ground slam with your operator. For Amp Spike, if you switch to your operator with an active 8 times combo counter on your Warframe, you'll buff your amp damage significantly. Void Levitation, hitting the first ability key creates a 6 meter wide shockwave that inflicts lift status on all enemies it touches, and Lethal Levitation makes enemies afflicted by the lifted status to be susceptible to more damage. Sling Stun increases the width of the next Void Sling by 40% in addition to priming enemies for finishes. Killer's Rush subsequently allows you to initiate a finisher as an operator, increasing your melee crit chance. Of course, you will automatically transfer to your Warframe to perform the finisher. Fast Sling is pretty basic, increases your Void Sling distance. Vazarin. Mending Unity and Enduring Ties are the same. Mending Soul has been changed to allow additional revives to be a lot quicker. Void Regen allows you to heal your operator with a capped amount of health per second. Once this cap is reached, Squad Regen applies the healing to operators within Infinity range for a limited time. Void Snare, you hit your second ability key to launch a projectile with the Vortex Trap on impact, which you can detonate mid-flight. Void Slinging through enemies trapped in the Vortex Trap grants a health buff to nearby allies. Protective Sling causes allies touched by Void Sling to be granted damage invulnerability for a limited time with a small heal. This will cost energy. Guardian Shell. Use your first ability key to cast a barrier around you and your allies in operator mode. It's invulnerable for a limited time upon casting and absorbs damage inflicted during this invulnerability window, which gets added to its base health, something like Rhino's Iron Skin. Once the shell breaks, Guardian Break causes Warframe shield regen rates to be buffed for a limited time. Rejuvenating Tides, operator health regen is increased by a fixed amount per second and doubled while controlling the Warframe instead of the operator. On to Unairu. Poise is an immunity buff from slow, stagger and knockdown effects after transferring to your operator or Warframe for a limited time. Reinforced Return allows your Warframe to be invulnerable for 4 seconds after your operator is downed. Your Warframe will teleport to the location of your downed operator. Static Purge provides a 100% chance to clear transference static, while Reinforced Return is active. Caustic Strike, you hit your second ability key to launch an energy bomb that explodes with a fixed radius, stripping enemy armor up to 75%. Unairu Wisp has been reworked, now has a 100% chance to summon a Wisp per enemy hit by Caustic Strike. The Wisp seeks out the nearest ally to provide an operator damage buff to. Magnetic Flare. Use your second ability key to create a radius field that disables shields of enemies that enter it. Magnetic Boost allows you to refresh the duration and increase the radius of the Magnetic Flare field when you Void Sling out of it. Finally, Madurai. Inner Gaze and Eternal Gaze are the same. Void Strike now consumes all energy to increase damage for a limited time. You deal a percentage of additional damage for each percentage of energy consumed. There's a 40-second cooldown now. Void Fuel provides 40% weapon efficiency for the operator and Warframe while Void Strike is active. Phoenix Talons now provide the buff to both the operator and the Warframe. Power Transfer provides a 100% amp crit damage buff upon switching to the operator. Chain Sling provides 50% energy efficiency on consecutive Void Slings, and Sling Strength adds 40% ability strength for a limited time when you switch to your Warframe after a chained sling. Contamination Wave emits a Void Wave that makes enemies more vulnerable to operator damage for a limited time, and Distilled Contamination makes all enemies affected by Contamination Wave more vulnerable and extends the duration of Contamination Wave if you kill an enemy affected. Alright, that's about it. Everything shown launches with the Angel of Zarimhan update coming to all platforms on April 27th. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the summary and I hope it helped you out. This is the Faceless Beanie, signing out.